We are live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another edition of the show, Trek Wednesday, Stardate 2017.025 at 22:01 Eastern Standard Time. We are joined here tonight by our special guest, our Chief Phased Energy Rectification Weapons Officer. We have Scotty here, will teach us tonight on how to get good in spam spacebar while using canonical builds, especially phasers. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight, Scotty.
Hello.
We have our Chief Research and Development Officer here, the man who knows science inside and out and can plan a build blindfolded while telling you exactly how to get good with science. Protius, Darth Protius, say hello to the audience.
Sup, people?
And our Chief Emergency Role-Playing Hologram, the man who makes ship porn illegal in 38 out of 50 states, and yet they still watch it there because it's that good. Zeph from ZEFilms.
What's up?
I think he just fell out of his damn chair for that introduction or something. I don't know, but he's here. He's doing something.
Wait, what do you
He might
mean
be
fell
having
out of
mic
my
problems.
chair?
It's either that or he's just really...
Oh, you know what? It probably helps if I press push to talk, right?
Yes,
No,
'cause we have to do
not
that
at
now
all.
with our new format.
That's right.
Not at all. Not at all.
We've upgraded. We're using fucking Discord now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Anyway.
actually listening to the live stream while I'm not pressing my button, and we're actually coming through pretty damn clear.
Good.
Damn it. Why are we actually upgrading stuff and actually getting good and not spamming spacebar this time? I have
Maybe
no
because
idea.
we want everybody to be able to hear all of our voices and not have a conflict.
No, we can't have nice things. Really?
Spamming spacebar is life.
No,
Spamming.
there's more things than spamming spacebar, like role playing.
Don't RP me, bro.
Don't RP me, bro.
No, you can RP him, just don't cheese RP him, bro, and don't get too anal retentive about it either. In any case, I believe Darth Proteus, you know a little bit about the stuff that's coming down the pipeline here with this undiscovered lockbox here. Can you give us a brief introduction here on what the hell is this and why should we actually care?
I know very little about it because I only read some stuff about it, but I'm not sure what I would want out of this lockbox as far as all the stuff that's going in there, because a lot of it doesn't seem very interesting to my playstyle. But I did want to comment on some of the ships, and while Zeph made those things look sexy in his video, I kind of feel like they were unfinished. Like somebody forgot to put the textures on the Klingon ship. It just looks so bleh.
I do have one little announcement. If you're tuning into the show, and I don't know if the guys on the panel are watching the visuals as of right now, but I got the blessings from the Cryptic developers to do this live stream and show off the ships that are coming tomorrow, including the anniversary ship. So if you guys have access to Tribble and want to kind of fly up and see it up close and personal, please, you're more than welcome. Other than that, you can sit back and enjoy the show, and it'll be up here on screen live.
See, now he's currently got the NX up there, and if you could do a spin around the hull for me, that actually looks okay. It's better than what I saw the pictures, because the pictures did not do it justice at all. And at first, with the engineering hull, I was like, what the hell are they doing? But it actually looks really good. I mean, it looks like a midget Connie, but it fits. I actually like the way it looks. We're getting reports that the audio just died in the stream. And I'm not hearing anything in the stream.
How
I'm
about
hearing
now?
you guys just fine. It probably was just Alan.
Okay, now it's going. What happened? It's good now. What was up?
I think it might have been a setting I hit.
Oops.
Welcome back to the show, folks. And, technical issues and whatnot. We'll still carry on. I personally, at first, I had my misgivings about him. Like, I'm not sure how I feel about this thing here. But, Zeph, you did such beautiful work with this thing. And once you showed me everything as far as the ship viewpoints, I was like, yeah, I could see this being a nice transition from the original design to something what we see in the original series. And from a design engineering standpoint, you could see elements of it that start to make sense within the starship design. There are a couple of things, like for me, I'd be nitpicky about, but overall, the ship design actually shows progression from one era to the next, and I like it.
And then Discovery came around and shat all over that.
Right.
Because fucking Discovery is supposed to take place between the Enterprise era and the TOS era. So there was a nice flow, and then all of a sudden, some Federation ship went and banged a Klingon ship, and
assuming that Discovery
Look at that
actually still takes
monstrosity.
off.
if that ship ever comes to the game, I honestly don't think there's anything I can do to make that ship look good.
I'm gonna say it now. I've been taking a break for a while from Stowe because lack of stuff. But anyway, that's another story. But if that ship makes it into Stowe, I'm done. I will not play this game anymore if that ugly ass ship makes its way into Stowe. Not happening.
I'll still play. I just if I see the ship, I'm going the other direction. Maybe.
All right. Well,
Yeah, that thing is ugly.
I'm going to channel my inner sarcasm detector on this thing here and actually talk like a tiny bit about the ships itself. Within the lockbox, you have 3 different ships, one for each faction here. They are pretty much one Federation Dread, with its console, blah, blah, blah. The D9 Dreadnought, which I think kind of channels the tiny bit of the early era Romulan-style warbird looking.
Connie in a PETA.
Well, I honestly thought they were going to go for like a more of a Starfleet Command style of Dreadnought instead of this. But I don't know. I can see where they were going with this here, trying to make it a little bit more beefy but old school style.
Yeah, they could have done so much more with it. I mean, to me, artistically, it was just lazy to cut a Dideridex in half and shove a Connie shell in it. I mean, that's basically what it looks like. A Dideridex rammed into a freaking Connie from behind, and that's what happened.
Are we talking about the Romulan ship?
Yes.
All right, let me switch to that one.
Yeah, show everybody what this thing looks like, because then they'll understand my concerns over what happened to it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the design actually... that's not the ship. The ship design actually follows suit with like the Diderics, you know what I mean? Yeah, that you see in TNG.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't... It kind of looks like a Dideridex, but it literally looks like somebody took a Connie saucer and shoved it in there. That's why I call it the Connie PETA. All you need is some lettuce hanging out of it. I might Photoshop that, have some lettuce and some cheese hanging out of that bad boy so people can further understand what I'm looking at. It just... they could have done better. I'm disappointed.
What do you think? Make it a little bit more of the old school warbird like instead
Take
of a saucer?
the Connie saucer out. It doesn't belong there. Like everybody who's been waiting for Discovery and they saw the new Enterprise or whatever they're going to call it, or the Discovery rather, it does not fit. The Klingon style with a Connie saucer on it doesn't fit, and this doesn't fit either. and it just doesn't look right. It looks like poor planning on my part, or for my end. I mean, look at it. It's a Connie saucer shoved into the Derricks. There's no other way I can describe it.
I think a lot of what you're seeing right there is the thickness of it, and that's where you're getting the Connie thing from. If it wasn't
look at
as
the
thick-
saucer though.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at
yeah,
the
I
saucer
completely
section.
agree.
That is a Federation saucer,
Yep.
without a doubt. And it
Um,
just doesn't look right.
Look at the old. What was it? I'm not too good on the Romulan and stuff. What was the name of the small escort that they did originally?
The
Like the Tularu or the
yeah.
the
I know which
Talisk.
one you're talking about. The
The
Talisk.
Talisk. That's almost it. It kind of, that saucer kind of looks like that, but I can definitely see where you're saying it looks like the Connie stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look Romulan to me. It looks completely alien.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Well, if you take
Throwing a Romulan bird underneath it doesn't make it Romulan.
Yeah, if you were to take the Derricks type look of that away, it might look a little better than what it does now. But yeah, I definitely see that though.
I'm trying to get to an area with good lighting, because right now I'm out in sector space, and yeah.
Yeah, see, somebody else in chat just made a comment about the detail, the lack of detail on the textures of these new ships, and I thought it was my personal taste, but I think a lot of people are going to look at these ships and go, "Where's the finished ship?" Because this doesn't look finished to me. It looks like somebody's forgotten to do something.
Well, the argument could be made that the TOS Enterprise is lacking in detail, because it's kind of a flat gray, doesn't have a lot of the shiny stuff that we're used to when we see ships like the Manicore, the Hestia, and all that, right?
True,
Like
true,
the color...
but it does have texture to it, though. It's got little things all over the hull and stuff like that. This is like missing a lot of detail. I mean, it's just not as detail oriented as most of the stuff we've seen them put out. I mean, I get that it's TOS, but
I would say this actually has a little, like, from what I can remember, I think this actually has a little bit more detailing to it than the revamped TOS Connie. Like the new skin that looked like the Connie from TOS, Darth.
Well, the skin looks okay, but if you go close up on the hull itself, and like on the top end, it's all smooth. There's no lines, there's no detailing, there's no nothing. It's like, what the... And this one is probably one of the more detailed ones out of the three.
Let me get to ESD here. Almost there.
Warp 5.
No.
You'll make it. You'll make it.
I'm at... Oh, well, I'm transwarp now, but...
With that said, though, as far as the overall design for this one, I mean, we were expecting one type of look and feel with the Romulan design. It's more angular. It looks more menacing on the attack. Even with something that's supposed to be a dreadnought size, you expect it to still stay with the slim, angular, sharp, menacing-looking lines and still be sizable. And in this case, like a dreadnought's supposed to be sizable and menacing. And we're missing the menacing and somewhat sizable look and feel to it.
Now, I've never really watched the TOS series, but has a Romulan ship ever been seen in TOS before?
Yes.
Yes.
The Talisk Warbird.
Talisk. Oh,
the little
yeah,
escort fighters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when you start off in the Romulan arc.
Yeah, that's when Spock has this eyebrow raised going, "Hey, they look like Vulcans." And everybody's looking at Spock going, "What the hell, bro?"
What'd you tell us about this man?
Right? Great episode, by the way.
So I'm at ESD. I don't know. I kind of like the nice finish, like the smooth finish on the ship. I kind of agree with you on the saucer. Like, I don't think the saucer is really suiting of this ship.
Well, if you look where the escape pods are, on the top, there's all that area right there, but no fine details. Did the Romulans really crank out that much metal to be a full seamless plate like that? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I mean, you know what I'm getting at.
No junction
I
at all
think
with it. It's just
I know what you're
one
saying, yeah.
monolithic sheet.
Yeah, it's just one giant sheet of there. I mean, you might as well make it a mirror.
See, probably the reason why I thought it was actually kind of sexy and sleek is because I used to detail a lot of cars back in my car days when cars were a hobby and it got too expensive. And this finish just looks fucking pimp to me. Like, it looks like somebody just waxed and clay barred a car. And
oh, yeah, it's definitely shiny.
So that's why it looks really good to me. I didn't actually think about the junctions part that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When it's missing, when I say missing detail, that's what I mean. It's just there's too much open area right there that just doesn't make sense to me as an artist first, and as someone who, you know, enjoys the artistry of ships and ship design. It just doesn't make sense that they would have that much of a sheet of plate metal to cover that area. It doesn't make sense. Because they would build the ship in sections, and there would be seam lines. I mean, you look at most of the old style ships and some of the old Connies, you look close at that detail, you can see those plates. You can see all the hull plating and stuff like that went into it. This doesn't have any of that.
I think I see your point now.
Hey, Zeph, could you angle up so we can see the underbelly from the sunlight?
Oh, yeah.
Show off the
that's
Birdman,
right.
bro.
I'm on the 4K monitor. I'm still getting used to it, and I had to redo a couple of shots because the setting that I have my monitor on, things look a little bit more vivid than they do when produced and put out for somebody not with the 4K monitor to see. But it should look better now.
See, the bird looks cool. I like the bird. But then again, I'm a fan of Trans Ams, so... Now, looks aside, the ship itself, first glance at its stats, I'm guessing torpedo boat. Because, you know, it's a 5-3 layout, it's got the Intel command seating, it's got some robust seating on it. It's not something I would personally play with, but I'm betting Marshall's probably going to have a field day with it.
There's some options with that, especially considering that you could do both Intel command on it. There's a wide variety of options. It's actually one of the better options for it.
Actually, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It's temporal operative and command.
Temporal ops command, definitely more towards the side torque boat on there. I thought it was Intel command as well, so apologies for that. But temporal ops command, you have like the T6 Connie style layout on there. 5-3, you can definitely put more 4 weapons on there and then just unload. Think of a command Cheshire with steroids.
Yeah. The temporal abilities will add a nice little punch for the science side of it, but 2 science consoles is kind of eh.
Not really, especially if you're going for a heavy torque boat. Yeah, you're losing out on the science side of it, but you can load up.
Yeah, you can get heavy side torque boat
on there with it. Yes.
I mean, all in all, it's not a bad ship. It's the layout of it's really good. It's very versatile. I'm just not a fan of the way it looks.
Oh, that's right. So on the video that I released showcasing the 3 lockbox ships, I didn't include the pets because there's this little thing that happens when you're in demo record and you try a field of view 20 and zoom in on things where if the ship is small, it vibrates and it makes for a really, really shitty shot. So there is pets on all the ships.
Yeah, we're getting requests for you to launch the pets.
Yeah, they are launched. I don't know how close. That's as good as I'm going to get on this one.
I can't even see the pets. Are they
There'll be a
launched?
delay.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Really? They look like what's that ship? The Malam or whatever it's called, the Talaru upgrade. Not the Talaru. The one with the big red ball of death. That's what they look like.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Those are kind of cool looking. See, now, if you go in a little closer on that one, there's a little bit more detail in the hulls there. You know, the hull plating lines, and, you know, there's a little bit more there, and those look good the way they are. They look good because they're small.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have related that to the hull of that bird, then it probably would have been a little bit more draw to me.
So what you're saying is your immersion is ruined.
Yeah, pretty much. They've ruined my immersion.
Want me to switch over to the KDF ship?
Oh,
Please
don't
do.
even get me started on that one.
And then we'll go to the TOS Chimera, as I've been calling it lately.
Yeah, save the best for last.
The console on this dreadnought here, the Romulan dreadnought, is very much a defensive console. It's a universal console, secondary shield projector. In essence, it projects a big fat shield around everybody else. So
And it's coming with new mechanics too. Because from what I understand, a lot of the stuff in this lockbox is designed for defense and team play. So you're going to be able to heal your allies better. You're going to be able to provide them shields better. And a lot of that stuff that's in this lockbox is focused around that whole idea.
And this console for this ship reflects that. Because not only does it shield your partners, it removes any hazards off of them and any other debuff effects. So pretty much it's like, hey, look, engineering team and hazard emitters on everybody that's in range. Here's some extra shields and a passive boost to your shields. Let's go.
Yeah, they're promoting more of a team building idea for people that are doing, you know, things together, which nobody really does anything together in this game. It's all solo play anyway, but that's besides the point.
In come the nannies.
Oh boy.
Oh, can you imagine what the nannies are going to do with this? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, mind you, if you own this ship or all three ships, you can use this console and any of your other ships. They are not restricted to just this ship alone.
So they're true universals?
They are true universals.
Interesting. And here comes the KDF crayon box.
I'm trying to get to Ryza, because I know there's better lighting there at least.
Yeah, everything I just commented about on the Romulan ship, you'll see it more exaggerated on this particular ship. There's an extreme lack of detail on this ship. It looks unfinished. It literally does. And I'm not saying, you know, this is bad on the art director's part or the art team's part, because they did a hell of a job putting these ships together. You know, the design of them, all that good stuff. But it just feels like there's a lack of detail on them. And I get that they were, you know, TOS era. But even some of the TOS era Klingon ships and even that one Romulan bird had a lot more detail than what we're seeing here. I mean, just look at some of the old Bird of Preys that they showed in the TOS series. There was a lot more detail in those. Even the old D7s. I mean, come on.
Come on, Ryza.
Now, Snoopalek brought up a very good point. You know, for the Romulan dreadnought, the console there, and the trait, mind you, promotes this team healing / support type of play. Unfortunately, unless you are playing at the very entry level of the game, you are not going to be able to enjoy that type of team-oriented play to the fullest.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of where all of this new stuff would actually make a huge difference would be Hive Space Elite.
And even then, it's not even so much of a necessity. It's more of a, let's just try something different.
Yeah, exactly. And Major Daka also brought up a good point. Have you tried any of these ships with the different shields?
No.
Because I'm wondering if the shields will actually make a difference on their textures.
Well, the shields apply their own textures to the model, so...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if they're going to make them look a little bit more detailed than what these are. And now that you see it in the sunlight, there's a little bit more lineage on this ship, but there's still a huge lack of detail. I'm sorry. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I would expect to see coming out of a game in 1998.
Vicious.
Maybe
I
that
have
was
to
the
be
kind of
honest.
look that they were honestly going for, though. Maybe. I don't know. Without them actually coming out and saying it, we can only speculate at that part. But maybe they were actually going for that. The 1960s, early 1970s TV look.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, you could pull up a lot of the old TOS shows where they showed Klingon ships and Klingon ships of this era. There was a lot more detail on those ships than we're seeing here. I mean, don't get me wrong; it looks cool. It really does look cool. But where's the lighting? Where's the nacelle lights? Where's the little minor details that make a ship a ship? I mean, I don't see any of that. I mean, the only real detail I'm seeing is the windows. That's about it. And the impulse drives. I mean, seriously, where's the rest of the lighting?
It's dark.
I'm sure they had more lighting than that, and I'm sure the nacelles weren't completely covered to where you couldn't see any of the interior lighting of those nacelles.
And it's not like all dreadnoughts are there just to be hidden. You actually want them to be the ship seen in the battle space. You want, hey, look, I'm going to show up. Everybody's going to see exactly what the hell we are, and we're going to intimidate the hell out of you before we knock you out of the sky.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a Klingon ship. Is basically what I'm trying to say. It doesn't feel menacing enough. It doesn't feel like it's a Klingon-made ship. Because there'd be a lot more hard edges. There'd be a lot more ragged, jagged things popping out of the hull and the wings, and it just doesn't feel right. But that's my opinion. People may like the way it looks, but that's my opinion from my side of the way I look at things. Oh, look at those little birds of prey. Those are cool looking.
Yeah, I gotta try and... I wish I could control pets, but...
See, there's more lights on the bird of preys on the pets than there are on the ship. I mean, the only thing you see on the ship on the nacelles is the front, where it's got those two little green lights. That's it.
How does she handle Zeph?
Like a truck.
Hold on, I'm trying to get a good... Oh, these fucking guys won't stop spinning around.
That's what they do, man. That's what they do. Well, he's getting another beauty shot lined up there. The console on this one is a disruptor pulse emitter. But instead of actually using disruptor energy, it's actually doing physical damage.
Physical, huh?
Yeah. So we don't know if it's actually going to be buffed by anything in the temporal tree or not, but previous history show that console items typically do not have complete interactions with stuff like DOFs, but they are boosted by anything that's coming from the ship. So anything that would amplify physical damage should affect it. But any sort of DOF mechanic to it typically does not affect anything that's coming from the console.
So turn rate right now with stock gear, I'm sitting at 9.4 degrees per second.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
she's
gonna
a
be
dread. It's a dread.
That's true.
Well, considering her base turn rate is a 7, it's comparable to a cruiser.
Now, the trait on this one here, catastrophic overload, allows your jam sensors will deal high electrical damage and disables targets in a large area on expiration.
Yeah.
So
on here it's saying to up to 5 foes within 3 kilometers, does 7,149 electrical damage, ignore shields, 714.9 electrical damage, ignores shields, and disable for 3 seconds.
It might be interesting to play with. I don't see it as being something I'd throw in on a high-end run.
we're seeing a lot more of this, this tertiary type of damage style. We're looking at radiation damage. We're looking at physical damage. Well, before the temporal tree came out, it was all its own little thing by itself. And now we're dealing with electrical damage here. I'm wondering if there's going to be something else in the game that's going to start boosting electrical damage, or are they preparing to redo the engineering tree to allow electrical damage to be a thing? Hopefully. Hint. I don't know.
I think they would have to redesign the way the classes interact in order to get everybody's hopes and dreams put out there.
Hashtag decouple APA and go down fighting from every other ability that's not tactical related. Ooh, I just started a war right there.
Yes, you did. But I don't use either because I'm a science toon, so don't matter to me.
Yep, we'll bring it up again. Science captains should heavily influence science abilities, tact for tactical, and engineering for engineering abilities. Let's not make Miracle Worker useless, but that's another discussion. We'll save that for another episode.
Well, that's why those captain powers were there, to give that particular class an edge. But let's face it, the tactical toons got the way better end of the stick on that one. I mean, Miracle Worker's cool, but you're not doing any damage, so Miracle Worker's pretty much pointless.
Well, not even that. The Samsar console is infinitely better than that anyway.
Yeah. And look at what science got. Ooh, photonic fleet. Ooh, that does a whole lot of damage. Ooh, no.
Hey, don't forget that sensor scan that only affects a small area for a limited amount of time.
Hey, sensor scan actually is pretty beefy.
Yeah, well.
I like sensor scan. It's got a huge debuff on it.
So,
and now we're looking at the... go ahead, please, by all means.
Yeah, we got the Atlas class up on the screen now. And I just went full speed without hitting the full impulse button, and turn rate was 13.7 degrees per second.
See, now, when you look at this hull, you'll notice the plating that I was referring to. It's a lot more prominent on this design. And I think maybe they paid more attention to this one.
No, they would never do that.
I mean, I like the way the ship looks. It flows very nicely. It looks like a very battle-ready ship. And like Zeph said, it's like the TOS era Chimera. And I like it. I really do.
Or TOS era Presidia.
It looks very good. It's got just enough detail on it to not break my immersion. It's very TOS oriented, and it doesn't look like somebody fabricated it out of a giant microwave.
And before Talon says "pets, please," I'm going to beat him to it.
Yeah. Talon, here come the pets. Oh, they're Class F shuttles. Nice.
Yep. The one weird part is that it says NCC 1701, but I don't know if that's just because I'm on Tribble, so we'll find out once they're on holodeck.
Yeah. Would be a nice immersion touch if they made that match the actual numbers you put on your ship. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible, but it would be cool.
All right. Miracle Worker. Anybody remember the stat of the ability of what Miracle Worker actually does?
Not offhand, but I know it was a huge hull heal. And a huge shield heal.
I'll log into my engineer real quick.
All right. I want you to run a comparison to the actual console that comes with this ship here, Zeph. Because we're going to look at it and see, okay, does the Miracle Worker ability compare to the Kabali console or to this console here that comes with this ship?
The dynamic power redistribution module.
Yes, sir.
So on here, it gives you 11.2 all damage resistance and 17.8 directed energy damage. I guess that's the passive stuff. Dynamic power redistribution. Self plus hull regen plus bonus damage resistance rating plus damage at less than or greater than. Greater than 80% HP. To self, plus 40% bonus damage. To self, plus 100 bonus damage resistance rating for 20 seconds. And then to self, plus 500% hull regen per minute for 20 seconds. Wait, what?
Ooh.
And 2-minute recharge.
That's an interesting console.
That's either offensive or defensive, depending on how much hull you have when you activate it.
Yeah, so that could be a more versatile console to use because you can use it to either keep your ass alive or boost your damage output.
Now, mind you, with the verbiage there, bonus damage is typically indicative of a Cat 1 bonus.
Correct.
So that means it's just a
crap.
baseline bonus for it. Now, does it say bonus energy damage or just bonus all damage? Or, sorry, no, bonus damage?
Just plus 40% bonus damage, and then it's reapplied every 1 second for 1 second for 20 seconds as long as health is above 80%.
So every second is doing a check on your hull to make sure that you're above 80% health.
Uh-oh. I smell lag coming.
No, I think they already knocked that stuff out, which, tangent to this one, return the neutronic and quantum phase mechanics back since you've already fixed the lag issues. No need to unnecessarily and artificially nerf those 2 torpedoes. Thank you very much.
You're just biased, Torp user.
I'm not biased. This is what they put down in writing. They said they were revisited once they addressed the lag issues.
Hey,
Lag issues have been addressed.
Are you on your engineer yet?
Yeah, I got it.
So what's
Give us Miracle Worker.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, Miracle Worker target self, 1 second to activate, 4-minute recharge. I'm above ESD right now, plus 15,907.5 hit points, 4,650 shield regeneration applied once to each facing, repairs disabled systems, enables Miracle Worker mode for 240 seconds.
So basically, Miracle Worker is like one gigantic oh shit heal. But this is a constant as long as your hull is above 80% active. So yeah, it's totally different than what Miracle Worker does.
Yeah, well, hold on a second. Miracle Worker is a plus 15k hull heal.
Yeah, almost 16k hull heal.
16k. That's nothing.
Yeah, nowadays, but back when it first came out, that was a big deal.
Right. But I mean, right. But yes, we're talking about a huge difference between, okay, look, I'm using Miracle Worker on a tier 3 ship. Look at this. Oh, look, I'm back in the fight against tier 3 mobs versus tier 6 stuff right now. That's like, all right, I'd rather run Civ 3 than Miracle Worker.
Yeah. Civ 3 would be much better.
And Snup brings up a interesting point. It's like, yes, it's different, but Miracle is a slotless ability.
Right.
This is true.
But also for a captain ability, though, shouldn't it actually feel like, oh, this is going to be a game changer? Sensor scan, game changer. Attack pattern alpha and go down fighting, game changer. Photonic fleet, okay, all right, it'll help out a little bit here and there. They really need to buff the ships and the AI, but that's a whole nother discussion right there.
Yeah, but
Miracle Worker and what else?
But for something you can have as a slotless ability that doesn't require you to have a console slot or a weapon slot or anything like that, it can be useful. But I see what you're saying, that it's not as useful as some of the other things we have in the game, because it hasn't received any love or upgrading since we've gone through all these level changes.
Right, and he brings up another point there. The other two captain abilities at least scale with the content that they're in. Whether it's lackluster or not in raw performance, at least they scale with the content. Miracle Worker here should be a percent heal, not just a flat numerical heal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it should be something along the lines of like 60% of your hull and shields get back or something like that.
The only thing it doesn't go into, which we'd have to look that up, what was it talking about? Enables Miracle Worker mode. What is the Miracle Worker mode?
Oh, that's, if I remember correctly, Miracle Worker can be triggered to go off cooldown if something happens or something like that.
That's it. That's
where
it.
you can use it again.
What was it? It's if you fall, and once you activate Miracle Worker and it heals you up, it's if you fall back under a certain percentage or something like that, it would reset the cooldown for it so you could activate it again.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it was.
Restores damaged subsystems and restores quote unquote, significant amount of hull and shield strength. The hull and shield restoration portion of it doesn't kick in as hard as it should, versus even though the one-time use of a Kobali console is just that one-time use, but on 2-minute cooldown, Miracle Worker is kind of like a really strong hazard emitters ticking whenever you drop back down there, but you could get one shot really quick at level 60 content if you're not careful, if you don't have any other defenses there.
Yep. See, look at the nacelles. There's a lot more plating lines on those nacelles than there were on the Klingon one. They're just too smooth. I don't get it. It's like somebody took sandpaper.
Look at the shuttle. But look at the shuttle detail right there. That's a nice shot.
Yeah, that is a nice shot right there.
You may want to screenshot that sucker too.
That is a very nice shot. All right, on to my anticipated ship.
Hold on one second.
Your ship, mine, and everything else.
The 7th anniversary ship. Where the hell is it? There it is. The whatchamacallit, the Lucari Hokan? I guess Hokan. There it is. Cue the X-Files music.
Right.
It's really not that bad of looking of ship.
Yeah, it came out a lot better than I thought it was going to come out, because I wasn't a fan of this choice.
There was a lot of comments that I've noticed on Reddit and on the STO forums, and a couple on Facebook that said pretty much the same thing, where they weren't too excited about the design that had won, but now that they got a better look at the ship, they're actually feeling a little bit better about it.
Yeah, it does look a lot better than we anticipated.
Look at the animation that comes out of the engines when you're flying around.
Looks like that temporal type.
Which makes me sad, because it's not a temporal ship.
Yeah, that's just stock engines, really.
Yeah, I like the vapor trails. Those are nice.
We get it, you vape. God. Goddamn Lucari. But I want to take a quick moment here before we start talking about the ship stats. Let's take a quick look at the bridge.
I like the engine trail off of that thing.
Yeah, whoever designed this bridge probably needs an award.
Well, my whole joke today has been because it's like a garden, so you can eat shit, right? And you dash and dine.
Right?
Or dine and dash, whatever. Oh my god. It loads so slow. Tribble. Because, you know, so many people are on Tribble right now.
I think Perfect World needs to start looking at hardware upgrades because it's not cutting it.
There we go. And it's not Snup asked, do bridge lights really rotate? It's not so much the light rotating, there's a giant fan in the ceiling.
Yeah, this is one of the better bridge designs they have come out with in a very long time. Very detail oriented, very very nice layout. I love the whole organic look to it. It's really really awesome.
Can you give us a pan around the bridge real quick, please?
Sure. It's a little hard to do because when you're in game, the camera zooms in as soon as like an object gets in the way.
Oh,
Like
this
that.
works. This works perfectly. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice design, very nice layout. Too bad it's the only room of the ship you can access.
Yeah.
Still, for the short amount of time they probably had to work on this, it's well done. Well done.
They had how long? Almost a year?
I'm not sure.
When did we vote on this thing?
Oh, crap.
Yeah, exactly. Open mouth, insert foot. But yeah, they did a lot of attention to detail on this one. Like these hydroponics tubes here with the lighting and you know the growth in there. I mean, that really really screams science ship to me. Because what is the point of this science ship with this new race going out into space on their own? Exploration, cataloging, you know, seeing what's what. I mean, it's who knows what those things are. They could be providing oxygen to the ship for all we know.
They could be monitoring genetic mutations or experiments
Yeah.
in there on different life forms. And see
Organic
what
carbon
that-
scrubbers. I mean, there's so many possibilities with this ship.
This is actually good because you can actually use your imagination with this thing and actually enjoy your immersion.
Exactly. And the fact that it's a science ship is just a party bonus for me. Although I'm not too happy with the fact that it's not got a temporal seat on it. I'm glad it has intel, but it would have been nice to have a temporal seat on there.
Oh yeah, so the reason for the foliage in the ship, so apparently on one of the blogs or whatever that Stowe put out, the Zenkethi used protomatter to destroy worlds the Lucari were on. So the Lucari hand grow plants in the ship.
Trying to save the species that were destroyed.
I think so. That's what somebody commented with on the video today. So, not sure if it's entirely accurate, but that would actually make sense. And considering the Zenkethi have been in blogs as of late.
Are there any clickies or pop-ups or anything that you can do to in the ship?
None that I noticed. No, nothing that really. I think there's already enough animations in here now. And the back
Looks
door
really
doesn't
good, very
open.
well designed. I
Yeah.
like the flow of it.
Yeah, really well lit too. So
It's very nice, very
yeah.
nice. I think with this particular ship, I'll probably, be able to do some funky science stuff with it, break 100K and call it a day. But all in all, it's not going to be my go-to science ship because everybody knows the Sphere Builder is my go-to.
What about the console on this ship? Anything good?
So the console on this ship is protomatter field projector. So gives you plus 20 to starship hull restoration and plus 20 to starship shield regeneration. While active, all allies within 3 kilometers gain plus 400% shield regeneration and plus 250% hull regen. And those stats are improved by starship shield restore skill and hull restore skill.
Nanny console.
And,
yeah, but still not a console I'd probably use.
Well, all right, for your build, yeah, but you definitely can see a full-on support build between this, between the Romulan Dread, between a couple other ones as well throughout the game. You can definitely have a full-on support build that would actually be viable for some, even some high-end content like Hive Elite. For those who aren't going for like a full-on DPS chase race, but just want to be able to complete it relatively quickly and with the least amount of deaths. Yeah, I could see this working in tandem with other ones there.
Yeah, and the Tier 5 mastery on it called Protomatter Capacitor. Energy Siphon, Charged Particle Burst, and Tachyon Beam grant plus hull and shield regen.
Yeah, that particular trait just screams Hive Elite. Hit a charged particle burst on that, and you'll have maximum hull regen and shield regen. Talk about super tank.
So the base stat on it is plus 32% shield regen for 15 seconds and plus 50% hull regen for 15 seconds. And again, those stats are improved by shield and hull restore skill.
And how many stacks can you have, does it say?
It does not say.
Why do I see Tank here coming out with a heal bolt that's going to be stupidly OP?
I already see it on most of my science builds because of the charged particle burst that I've been using forever now. That thing does 50 targets at a time.
Charged particle burst doffed with the other charged particle burst trait.
Correct. And then you top this off on top of that, you're invincible, my friend.
Oh no, the game's broken again.
Pretty much.
Come on.
Now everybody's going to be slotting charged particle bursts like it's candy.
4 engineering console slots, 5 psi, 2 tac. And yes, it does have a secondary deflector. Some people were asking in comments earlier today. So.
Did you get the warp core?
Yes.
Could you show me that, please? Because that's what I'm interested in.
So
because it has the aux to engine on it.
So the Braden Reconnaissance Warp Core, I believe that's what it's called. So overcharged warp core increases maximum auxiliary power by 5. The Braden Reconnaissance Warp Core are designed to overcharge auxiliary power levels, increase a ship's maximum auxiliary power. The Warp Core also gives a bonus engine power based on your current auxiliary power level, increasing flight speed. This Warp Core is configured to use a higher warp factor when in slipstream and comes with an upgraded engine capacitor that buffs your entire team. This item is freely upgradable to Mark 12, but it's already Mark 12.
It's because you opened it on a max tune.
Oh, true. Further upgrades require technology points and dilithium as normal. What it comes with: plus 17.5 Starship Control Expertise.
Nice.
Plus 2.5 additional auxiliary power, plus 5 maximum auxiliary power. Allows your auxiliary power to exceed 125. Maximum warp factor of 12.3. Add 7.5% of your auxiliary power to your engine powers as a bonus power. 0.2 slipstream speed bonus. 100% turn rate while in slipstream. Oh, and there's more. My throat's getting dry. So the Braden Enhanced Engine Capacitor provides a short duration increase to your team's engine power level, repairs disabled engine subsystems, and removes movement impairing effects on activation. Affects friends and self, 0 kilometer team, 4 min recharge, cleanses movement debuffs, repairs offline engine subsystems, plus 15 power settings for 20 seconds. And looks like there's going to be, so they're going to be doing that featured episode thing, I guess, and you're going to be able to get more pieces for this thing. So if you get the 2 set, you get plus 5 auxiliary power settings, plus 1.2 auxiliary power settings, bonus increase at lowest power, plus 20 starship perception, so improving the detection of cloaked ship. If you have the 3 set, which is the Braden engine infusion, plus 5 engine power settings, plus 20 starship impulse expertise, 50% reduced cooldown on transwarp. Would have been cool if it said fucking bridge officers. Right. And the 4 set, the set of 4, so the entire thing, advanced brid and cross wiring, shield loss safeties, decreases the lockout to 45 seconds, micropulse overcharge, removes the engine power drain, adds a knockback to affected enemies, doubles the damage dealt.
That set right there screams to me Tour of the Galaxy. That's what that set screams to me.
Hey, people make a living out of Tour de Galaxy so they can actually buy some of the traits that we recommend for them to do. So, don't knock it. It's a means to an end.
Now, that warp core, depending on what it gets on the upgrade, could be a staple on a lot of science builds because of, the inherent control expertise and the aux to engine, which gives more engine power, which a lot of science ships lack, and why they move so damn slow. That could actually be a boon to most of the science builds out there.
Think it'll replace the butterfly core as the go-to core for that?
I don't know. It has a possibility depending on what it gets on the upgrades. I think a lot of people will still stick with the butterfly core, though.
Segueing into what Zeph has already discussed here with what's coming onto holodeck shortly after this patch. Mind you, massive patch. If you haven't already, patch now. Force a patch. Force do it. Run a check at the end of the night tonight before you go to bed. Because 5-point-some-odd gigs worth of content came down for me the last time I exited the game. And it was big. Do it. Do it now. We are going to get a new featured episode called Of Signs and what? Portents? All right, Of Signs and Portents. Gonna play that, replay. I'm assuming he's gonna have the same, play to get 1 piece of gear per week, and then you get the next weekly unlock or whatever time unlock they're gonna have for it. So do it across all your tunes, get the gear, look pretty, that sort of thing. We're also going to get a new battle zone, a new space queue, actually 2 new space queues, the Lucari Restoration Initiative reputation, which means we're going to get a nice little rep to play with. The ground pounders are going to get a nice little R&D surprise where you can actually craft your own stuff. Congratulations.
Yeah, those patch notes for tomorrow are huge.
You know what? Remember when we used to complain about not having enough patch notes or enough details within the patch notes to explain things out, or some things get, fixed or not fixed properly, and we don't know whether it's attempted to have been fixed or not? Kudos to Cryptic for delivering almost consistently. I would actually say 99% consistent within at least the last 6 months, if not longer. Kudos to you guys for doing this, for buckling down and hammering out these bugs, especially with people who are complaining about the continuity tripping over invincibility. Congratulations, it gets fixed right here. So they are paying attention to some things. wish you could pay attention to torpedo bugs a little bit more, but we'll get to that later. Thank you very
Nobody
much.
uses torpedoes. Go home.
Whatever. Kinetic community is growing strong, son.
Torpedoes are bad.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to get to your segment soon, shortly. Yeah. But you're going to get a lot of new content that's coming in here. As far as how the gameplay is for the content, we'll do it on the episode when we come back and compare notes and all that and prep it for everybody here. Systems, there's going to be a lot of system fixes here. Check it all out in the patch notes. There are a lot of issue resolutions here. So everybody between QA round 2, people who are actually actively seeking out the bugs, replicating them, showing where they're coming from, and possibly root cause analysis. Good job. Good work. Thank you very much. This is making the game better now. Keep it up and expand upon what the hell you're casting your net on to go find and fix. On with this here. You know what? Let's actually go over here to... Yeah, you know what? Scotty, we're going to bring in your segment right now because this would be a nice time to be able to do this.
Oh, God. Here comes the QQ. Let me get my buckets.
Oh. Now, I will actually say this here, and what actually prompted me to invite Scotty here onto the show, aside from him being a good player and been long overdue, was that there are a couple people within different media outlets within the game, public forums, etc., but especially on the Facebook group, where I've seen it time and time again within this past week and a half, that people who are playing canon builds, as in single N as seen on TV canon, they're being ridiculed by other people saying, you can't do good DPS with a canon build. You can't do that at all. And this was happening before and even after SOB and I showed that you can do canon builds and rock the hell out of it. You can mix consoles and still do very well. Bridger has done a Mark 1 freaking phaser arrays, beam arrays. I think he used Mark 1 phasers as well. And went in with his freaking Odyssey and is kicking over 100k deeps in his sleep. Scotty, tell people that canon builds not only can be good, but can actually excel and do extremely well.
And it's not just that. I mean, any beam array. I mean, you could, as much as I hate running like Tetrion or Polaron, I mean, any of those arrays are going to be able to produce good DPS. But I am all about a pretty Federation ship running phasers. So pretty much if you go back and even look at some of my older YouTube videos, I pretty much exclusively ran phasers until Cold Disc came out. SOB got me hooked on the Cold Disc stuff just because of the great things that it can do. But basically, I went back after probably about the past month or so, went back and started playing around with phasers again. I pulled out my damage 3 pins. I pulled out my crit D4s. With the Sunrise stuff with Quantum Phase, I started playing around with the Quantum Phase beam array, the Quantum Phase torpedo. We'll get into that here in a minute. But basically, what we're going to start off doing is the phaser arrays. I did a bunch of testing with Quantum Phase Array, comparing Quantum Phase Array to the damage 3 pins, damage 3 pins, the crit D4s, just trying to see if that Quantum Phase Array is worth the loss of a damage 3 pin, and it pretty much is. It is a definite DPS gain going and actually just running the Quantum Phase Array, and if you're going to run the Phase Array, you're going to need to run the console too. As of late, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with the Fleet Intel Assault Cruiser. Everybody that knows I've been running the Psy-Adi pretty much exclusively for the pretty good while now. When the Assault Cruiser come out, the Assault Cruiser was one of my favorite ships, on the Tier 5U side of things, back before the Odysseys and stuff came out. So I decided to jump onto that. We've been seeing pretty good numbers out of it. Let me pull that up real quick. So about the past week and a half or so, I really started hitting it hard. Average pug runs most of the time, depending on how the pugs are doing. Most of the time it's over 200k. Let's see, I've got a 200, a 207, 213, 217, and it topped out the other morning in an actual pug run with no. It wasn't like me and Spencer or me and Protius or nothing like that. It was a true pug run at 223. Me and Spencer got on and did some more runs. We started doing some 3-2 pug splits. Right after I did that 223, I did a 241 and a 3-2 pug with Spencer. He was on the right side in that boat. He did the Defiant. He did with the Canon Defiant. So he took the right side and I took the left side with the pugs at 241. And then shortly after that, me, Spencer, and Ralston, we did a 3-2 split with some more pugs, and I did a 259.2. And that's with damage 3 pin phasers. All of them epiced out. Iconian 4-piece. That had binaural, tachyokinetic, timeline stabilizer, leech, Samsar, and the quantum phase converter, and then 2 of the EPG signature amplifiers for your plasma explosions. So overall, I'm very happy with the assault cruiser. I wouldn't say it is as good as the Sayati, but it is pretty daggone close. You're not going to get the big feedback pulse numbers out of that, but let me pull that up and see.
But for a non-feedback pulse style of build, you are still putting out very, very respectable numbers with that.
Yes, let me get SCM pulled up and I'll break down that 259.
By the way, if you're interested, I got that that warp core we were talking about up to epic. So if you want to talk about that after phaser stuff.
Sure.
Could you Discord me the bonuses it got?
Actually, while we're waiting for Scotty to pull that up right now, this is going to be real quick anyway here. Give us the details on the warp core as soon as you beam up.
Oh, I'm stuck on a loading screen. Jesus.
Wait, do we see any progress there? Captain, we're not getting any response from them.
And is Astro Zombie in the audience somewhere out there? Say if you are.
I seen him logging in and out of stow here a little while ago.
There we go.
Bastard.
All right, so real quick, looks like plus 20 starship control expertise, 2.5 additional aux power.
Did it get amp?
No, it got EWS and W2S.
Yeah, that means it's pretty much worthless.
So 1% chance when hit with energy weapons to grant plus 10 weapon power and adds 7.5% of your weapon power to your shield power as a bonus power is what was added.
Yeah, the amp is really a big deal for a lot of builds, and that's basically a deal breaker.
Even if
me personally, I won't use it.
Even though amp is still a Cat 1 bonus, it's still very good for people who are using leech or are able to raise all of the subsystem power high enough to be able to benefit from amp.
Exactly.
But I got the space rep gear on the ship now from the Reputation. So you can see...
That looks kind of sexy.
The deflector's got a nice little animation. The design that it gives the hull kind of gives it that rustic look. That's the only word I can really think of right now.
Yeah, it was a good
looks
word to use.
aged. But yeah, rustic.
I like it.
And the lighting is a little bit more predominant too. Like it you know, I'm thinking Tron. Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, Scotty.
All right, so I went back and pulled the 223K, the pug run that I did, and even with feedback pulse, I had 45K just from feedback pulse. Even with that, we are still right at 200K. I've done some swapping around with that stuff, dropping like the threat consoles off to like minus threat consoles, going with Drain X because you're getting away from the EPG stuff with feedback pulse, and I'm still seeing upwards of right at 200K out of that, and that's still running basically the exact same setup, just dropping feedback pulse. One thing I did, let's see, when I usually do that, I will take like OSS, since that's the universal intel seat, running it as science. So for the threat one, I was doing OSS 1, TBR, that switched to a pull, and then your feedback pulse 2. Basically what I did with that is I just dropped feedback pulse, brought OSS up to the lieutenant commander slot, and then threw in hazard emitters. Kept the TBR just to try to help get GDF at the start and when you're running around all the spheres. Because if you're not running threat and somebody else is in there that's running threat, you're going to be hard pressed to get a GDF. It's not going to happen if somebody's in there pulling threat and you're not. Most of the time in pug runs, if you're pulling that kind of DPS, if you're pulling over 100K and everybody else is like 20K, you're going to get a GDF. From what I've seen, so it's really not that big an issue. But like I said, even without feedback pulse, we're still talking, upwards of 200K, depending on the pug run. And if you're running with a team, non-nanny team, it'll just say you got your 4 guys that know when to activate abilities. They know the flow of the high speed runs. That definitely helps out. I'm pretty sure that if I could get a really good team together that knew exactly what to do, what was going on, it would be over 200K even without feedback pulse. So all the things we've been hearing that, you're only getting that because of feedback pulse, it's a bunch of crap. It really is. Because in that 223 run, I had 75K from FA3. So the damage is definitely there. So we just have to. Usually, it really depends on how good your team is.
What about throwing in? You mentioned the quantum phase set. What about you actually wanted to make it a little bit more of a cannon-like build, quote unquote, as seen on TV, and throwing in the quantum phase torpedo with it?
On this particular ship, you got a lieutenant commander tack and then ensign tactical. What I had been doing, you're kind of limited on this ship. The Psioti may be a little better. Something that's got maybe a lieutenant commander and a lieutenant tac. It works out a little bit better because you can still keep, like for this one, I'm running FA3 Delta because I'm running Delta Prime, Chemocyte 1, and TAC team. So if you ended up having that lieutenant commander, you could throw in a Torp Spread 2 and then drop in your quantum phase torpedo, and then you get the 3-piece from that. If you're going to do that, I probably would back off of the feedback pulse stuff. That's usually what I do because it opens up a couple more things, and that's going to let you get into OSS 3, and that's going to help out with your DPS on that side of things too. But for this one, I would do. You're not going to need Delta. You're not going to need Delta Prime. I would just go back to the old school stuff. Do FA3 Beta. You're either going to have to sacrifice TAC team or Chemocyte. I would probably just end up dropping Chemocyte. Even without it running torpedoes, you're talking 2, 3, 4K max from Chemocyte. In what I've seen with adding a torpedo, you're still not going to. It's going to be negligible damage. The quantum phase stuff is where it really starts to get interesting, because me and Odin back when quantum phase first came out, we had talked a lot about the quantum phase torpedo, the quantum phase transfer you get from the quantum phase torpedo. I was running it on a tier 5U Mobius and back then I was not even even now I'm still not even spec'd into torpedoes at all. But depending on how high you can get your Drain X, from what I'm seeing, 400 plus is good. Anything over 6, I wasn't seeing anything. It wasn't better going over 6. So that 400 range would seem to be a sweet spot for the Drain X to utilize quantum phase. I was between torpedo damage, quantum phase transfer, and the damage that was associated with the quantum phase torpedo. I was seeing 30K DPS just from that set. You also pick up that 3-piece set bonus. Let's see, what is it called?
Like a phaser lance type of thing.
Yes, I think it's a destabilizing. Let me look at that real quick.
Quantum destabilizing beam or something like that, if I remember.
Quantum destabilizing beam to target. As I'm sitting in space right now, it's 4,315 phaser damage for 10 seconds. It's nasty on one of the tac cubes. It's just I love it. It's great. But if you're thinking about splashing torpedoes, and here comes a flack for it. If you are wanting to run a torpedo and you're running to do cannon, there's absolutely no reason you should not be running quantum phase and phasers, especially if you're flying the Federation type ships, the Odysseys, the assault cruisers, the Excelsior type ships. If you're going to do it, then that's going to be the way for you to go, because the bonuses that you get out of it, and if you're not pulling threat and you're specking into Drain X instead of the EPG stuff, that's where it's going to be. And pulling off of the threat, you can also free up some of the consoles. Like most of the time, I don't even have to run SAMSAR. So I mean, it opens up a little bit more. The DPS is not going to be this in-game min-max DPS. I was still seeing running the torpedo. I was still seeing close to in the mid 100s with that. Most of that being beam damage, of course. But like I said, if you can pick a good ship for it, the Manticore, I was seeing some pretty good numbers in as of absolute trying to get the most out of the quantum phase. I was getting it out of the Mobius. Some of the newer escorts that have the seating for it tend to do close to it, but for some reason I just couldn't get it to produce on any of the other ships like I could the Mobius.
Thank you very much for the analysis on that. And realistically, people, whatever type of build that you throw out there, your number one DPS increase would always be your piloting. And your piloting involves being able to properly position yourself to where you can do the maximum potential amount of damage to your enemies by activating your abilities while staying alive and knocking the hell out of whatever your targets are, whether they be a whole bunch of little ads or one big target or all of the above. Positioning yourself, having the maximum amount of contact time with your weapons to your targets, and making sure that all your abilities that are damage amplifiers are activated prior to or during your weapons firing at that point in time. Some of your abilities there serves as assistance to your primary abilities to be able to say, hey, I can gather up all of these mobs together into one nice little neat package for all of your AoE abilities to be able to take even more of their hull away from their target and blow them up quicker. Being able to use your abilities properly, being able to position yourself properly, being able to activate your abilities in the right sequence properly will maximize your damage, whether using all Mark 1 gear or whether using everything gold-plated. And be like ZEFilms and gold plate that shit.
Yeah, what?
Anybody else want to add anything to that?
Just heading into that, that's kind of one of the little things that I had stuck on there to be talked about. Some of the, like what you're talking about, some of like the groups that we've been seeing, a lot of the somebody will come into, say, like a Facebook group or on Reddit or something, and they ask for help. And they're just saying, what can I do to make my shit better? Just kind of brainstorm just for a couple minutes. And the couple of the things that I come up with, y'all add in what y'all think too. Some of the first things I do when I set up a brand new character right off the bat is keybinds. Even if you only have, on your tier 1 ship, the only abilities you have is like one tack ability and maybe one science ability or one engineering ability. I'm still going to set up a keybind for it. My normal everyday keybind. And then as you progress through the first, couple tiers of ships, you start getting more abilities. You start adding those abilities. That's when you need to start looking at the proper ways for ability cooldown reduction. Spencer just did a really good video on the attrition warfare cooldowns for threatening stance. That is the cooldown in the game. Like if you're not doing that, people, I'm still seeing people run Ox to Bat. Of course, the people, the old school was the Drake builds, just doubling up on abilities, 2 FAs, 2 tact pattern betas, 2 tact teams to get your cooldown straight. A lot of times you two tac team, two FAs, two betas, one tac team. Because of the seating, you have to run a DOF to do that. A lot of the builds that even they're doing in like an STO Academy link, they'll fill it out and they'll throw it in there, and you look at it and you're just like, whoa, like there's no synergy whatsoever. It's just like, oh, this ability looks good, let me just drop that in there. This ability looks good, this looks cool, let me drop this in there. So the two things that I think most important right off the bat: keybinds and proper cooldown reduction, because that's the first two things that like slap you in the face when you look at some of these builds.
But Captain Kirk would do it.
We need to get those blockade arrays back online.
Just saying, doesn't always work for everybody.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I said, I mean, the whole point about doing this, if you're playing Star Trek to have fun and that's your thing, then do it however you want to do it and however you can get the most enjoyment out of it. A lot of people I run around with, we are chasing DPS. That's our thing. That's what we do. If you come and ask for assistance to help you become better, this is the route that you kind of need to go toward. I mean, the keybind, if you want to kill stuff faster, that's an avenue that you need to go down eventually. I'm not saying that you have to do it right off the bat, but it would be a very good idea. Doing, like I said, the cooldown reductions is the way, that is the progression that from the beginning to end that you need to be looking towards, the ability where you need to go.
And it's not saying that, people's builds are bad. I've actually taken somebody's build off of one of the Facebook groups that everybody said this is horrible. Went through it and did like around 50, 60K DPS with it, like one beam array, one torp, a turret 4, and 2 dual beam banks, and then the rest on the back omnis and a mine. And you can do good DPS with it if you know what you're doing.
So you're saying
it's about
people are bad.
optimization.
So we could take a default cryptic loadout that really confuses the hell out of people and still do high DPS with it, relatively high DPS with it. And, while we're saying this doesn't make sense, this is all over the place. On some ships, because of the bridge seating, it would do worse than in other ships. But overall, if you know what you're doing, you can still squeeze out something out of it. So you could come up with a whole cluster mine build and, a turret, and then the rest of it science abilities or engineering abilities. And you could still do well with it. The point is not to say, oh, you're forcing me to do this whole cookie cutter build, I hate it. No, you don't need to do the cookie cutter build. You could go so far off meta and still do well. The point is you're doing well. So don't just say, just because I'm not chasing DPS and I'm not doing the meta builds doesn't mean I shouldn't actually do well in performance for what I have on my ship. That's the point of playing the game. Whether you're doing it solo or you're playing as a team, you are going to come into this thing thinking, I'm going to own everything that is in sensor range. How am I going to do that? And part of that is knowing what the hell you are doing with what you have.
Hey, Kirk always won.
Just saying. Kirk always cheated.
Kirk always won.
Kirk didn't cheat. He used all the resources available to him at the time.
You asked Spock, he cheated.
He used clever tactics to be able to defeat the problem at hand.
Don't church it up, he cheated.
Dude, alternative facts, bro.
Alternative facts. I got your alternative facts.
Some of the other things that I'd seen on, talking about the keybinds cooldown reduction thing, a lot of the gimmick abilities. When y'all think about that, just name a couple of the, like aceton beam. What's the eject warp plasma? The stuff.
Aceton beam could be useful in certain situations.
In certain situations, yes, but
warp plasma, no, not really. But then again, I'm a science dude. I'm going to group them all up in the gravity well anyway.
Hey. I actually used warp plasma beforehand in Battle of Corfez. when we're doing that whole stop them all from passing this grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
defense,
a situational. Yeah, I mean,
right, but it's
that
still
one
useful.
instance, it could be useful.
Yeah, it's still useful though. I mean, you know where they're spawning. They're not like hey, you know what? We should be able to go over under this and then just keep going. All right, we get that. But yeah, it's useful. It is useful in that situation. Boarding party with the dude.
Yeah, no, just stop. Save the red shirts, bro. Save the red shirts. Red shirt lives matter, bro.
Boarding party.
Get out of here. Just get out.
All right.
Go sit in the corner.
You know what? I would rather slot boarding party on all of my ships than even think about using transport warhead. Just
You'd
saying.
probably get more use out of transport warhead.
No.
Boarding party, come on.
Hey, it still beats demo teams.
Wow.
Alright, there's a challenge for you, Odin. Snoopalek just said, let's make a boarding party build.
Already done, and you'll see it by the end of the month. I was waiting for this moment right here. You'll see it at the end of the month.
This ought to be good for a laugh.
Jay's already made with a TEM has already made a Jet War Plasma build already, yeah. And doesn't the Hester use something similar to that with their console for like a War Plasma type effect? You know, ignite the War Plasma bit.
No, that's the
Regent.
The Enterprise E, the Sovereign class, had that Metreon gas canister. They called it the Riker maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah, the Riker maneuver. Speaking of which, for those who remember the whole fiasco with the whole emails, congratulations, you got a free ship. You're a bastard, Scotty, by the way.
I got one too.
And that's the bad thing about it is like what was it, the last one, the gold-plated Ferengi thing? Like, I mean, that would have been a ship that I would have probably liked to have just because it's something that I didn't already have, dude. Because if it's a Federation ship, I've got it.
Yeah, I already had the Intel cruiser, so I was like, well, this is pointless. And you can't give it away because it's tied to your account, so...
I'm so sick of this discussion. Oh my god.
Right.
It's randomly, and that's what I'm saying, you know, we're just including again, it's randomly given away. We've already known after we've done, you know, enough digging around, it's randomly being given away. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Don't
it's just
worry
to
about
pull the
it.
names out of a hat is all they're doing. They punch
fuck
everybody's
this shit.
emails into a machine.
I'm gonna build a wall and I want to see the goddamn birth certificate on who the fuck is getting this shit. Rabble, rabble, rabble. I am honestly sick of people losing their fucking minds over it. It's like, what is the goddamn criteria of this? Dude, it's fucking random.
We proved it the last time. We went out and polled a bunch of people who got it and asked them questions about what they did in Stowe. Were they lifetimers? Were they subscribers? Were they, you know, big spenders? Were they no money spenders? And everyone who got it had such a varied response to all of those questions that we determined it's completely random.
One thing,
All walks.
One thing I would like to see Cryptic at, actually, I think this is actually more perfect world. The ability to give that code to somebody else if you already have that ship. Or if you flat out don't want the ship.
Me and Tankia made a point, or we were discussing this earlier, and I made a point about why they're not doing it, and I can see this as their reason, is to prevent people from scamming people and giving away the code multiple times to people and you know, not getting anything for it.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the only, you know, logical reason I could see why they would tie it to your account, so this way you can't scam other people with it. Because let's be honest here, this game is full of scammers.
Yeah.
And credit sellers.
Well, the whole thing about that is somebody was trying to make a profit off of it.
Exactly.
That's the thing. If we're just gifting it and saying here's the code. If you're buying it out of the you know, isn't that kind of the terms of service kind of thing anyway?
Yeah, but how can you determine whether somebody's gifting it to somebody? or
why
if
not
they're
this?
giving the code to multiple people and selling it. How can you determine that? You
All right,
can't.
how about this?
You're not gonna be able to probably.
Well, here's how you can get around with that and keep it within the realm of Perfect World Entertainment. Perfect World Entertainment will be able to set up something very similar to the code redeeming process on their website, where you could gift a code to a specific player. Type in the player's @handle, type in a valid code, click on the gift this code button. Problem solved.
Okay, they don't want to spend money on new content. Do you honestly think they're going to spend money on this?
It's a freaking 5-minute piece of coding work that it could do on a bloody website. It'll kill the scam. All right, even for me, a complete and utter moron, 5 minutes I could build that and tie it into their interface. Simple.
I wouldn't
JSON,
call you
done.
a complete and utter moron. You work in that field, dumbass.
All right, either way.
But we're talking about them wanting to willingly put the man hours into something like that, and then making it live and active and spending the extra money on bandwidth to accommodate it. And that's not going to happen.
That's what bandwidth? I mean, literally, it's just the same thing as the code redemption page.
Trust me, some bean counter somewhere is looking at it going, oh, we're going to have to spend extra money on bandwidth for all these requests that may or may not come in. You know it's going to happen.
One freaking man hour and no more or no less bandwidth than people trolling the damn forums in order to cut down about, I'm guesstimating here, but I would say 30% of all the stupid cons that go on in STO is dealing with code redemption. Somebody wants to pay EC or real money to be able to get a code to redeem a ship or some sort of feature on there, and they get scammed the hell out of it. Well, let's eliminate 30% of all those scammers on there by implementing this very simple feature, and you control it within Perfect World Entertainment's ecosystem.
But then you still have the problem of people selling the codes, because you would not be able to stop that. And that's probably what they don't want.
All right, and you know what? You can stop people from selling the codes and legitimately give people who want to legitimately gift an item to somebody else that avenue under PWE's control.
And
problem
again, I
solved.
state they won't spend the manpower to do it.
I got nothing.
I mean, I see your point. I really do, but me playing devil's advocate, I have to see the other side of how can I abuse it. And I can guarantee you there is no way that they can implement that would not get abused or cause them to lose money.
Especially considering, Odin, you were just saying not too long ago that they need to invest a little bit into the infrastructure to, I don't know, make things a little bit quicker when you're loading up maps.
Well, I mean, that's something else. That's different from the actual web server and account management.
But it's still man hours and money.
How are you going to install a new server with cables all over the goddamn place that ties up all the locations to rack shit?
I haven't even shown you the latest picture yet, but that's a separate discussion. But as far as the code redemption process that's there, it is literally no different than what they already have in place. All they need to do is change the pointer for the recipient. Problem solved.
Yeah, but then you run into people have to give their account handle to somebody else and blah, blah, blah. And
which
there's too many risks
in-game anyway.
True.
You can already get that in-game. There's nothing there that's going to be a security violation. Hey, look, I have a legitimate code here that I can redeem. I can either A, redeem it for myself, type in my @handle at this website, type in the code, done. Or B, I can gift it to another player that I already know has an @handle. Type in their @handle, type in the legitimate code, hit, gift, done. Walk away.
Yes, but you're assuming that everyone is going to be up and honest.
Well, all right, if it's not a legitimate code, it doesn't work.
No. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I have code A, okay? I'm going to sell to somebody. They're gonna PayPal me the money, or they're gonna give me something in game. I'm going to go to the website, input it, give it away. Okay, that person gets the item. I'm going to take the same code and do the same thing, but the other person never gets the item ever.
Right, but
because
that's a
the code's already
different
been used.
That's a different problem altogether.
But that's what they're trying to prevent.
Right,
it's another headache for them to deal with, though.
Exactly.
But that headache already exists.
Where?
Yeah, but this would compound the headache of scams and shit like that they're already dealing with. This would compound it like 100-fold.
That's a logistics issue we're going to have a different discussion on altogether, but and well beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. But at least there's an avenue there for being able to right. At least that's an avenue to allow people the ability to gift an item, legitimately gift something.
Oh yeah, I would love to have that ability because I have a code right now that I can't use because I already own the ship.
Same here.
And I would love to give it to somebody who wants it, who deserves it. I would love that ability. But realistically, I know it's not going to happen.
I would just like to say that code helped me finish out my strategist tree on my ROM. That's about all it did for me. It gave me a bunch of spec points. That's about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That came with spec points.
Yeah, 10 free spec points. And that's probably the only thing I'm going to use it for is because I can't use the ship. Now, if they would have given me the command version of that ship, which I don't have yet, then I could have used the code.
All right, we're going to drop the rest of the show notes in on the description here, as well as all the other media platforms. We have the Season 12 ground discussion Reddit thread up as well for those folks who want to be able to see and learn more about the ground game. I'm actually learning a lot from Nib, and I need to actually resume my lessons. Resume my lessons with Nib on how to get good on the ground, especially doing a full kinetic / physical build on the ground. Yes, I actually want to use torps and a bat'leth on the ground. Suck it. Moving on. SLB's Casual Corner has his attrition warfare video that Scotty has brought up here. Goes into nice detail about attrition warfare, when you should use it, how you should use it, why you should use it, and get good, and you don't even need to spam spacebar.
You just should use it. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to not use it.
Wait,
And
what's
it's
attrition
the
warfare?
Yeah, well, it's the best cooldown reductions in the game. I mean, it's you should be using it.
Yeah, there's no need for reciprocity or AHOD where you're using it. There's really no need for it. So that's two traits you can open up just by using that.
Yep. Think about all the DOFs. So all the ZMOCs, all the beam DOFs, all the cons for TAC team, all that stuff that was so expensive. It's gone. You don't need it, and that opens up all those duty officers that you can add other things that help out your build.
Exactly.
And for the non-threat gen builds, like your heavy science or torpedo builds off of there, you may want to have something that would take advantage of attrition warfare. I personally don't, but I still manage my cooldown reductions in a different method, and I'm still loving life here because I still love the crit D, and boom, my targets just hate it.
Attrition warfare literally helps out every build out there.
It does. If you can surround yourself with people who generate tons of threat, run attrition warfare. Run it. Having your cooldowns come back quicker is much greater than the little bit of crit hit and crit D you get from it, from the converse of not running the threat. And Zeph, while you're giving us that nice beauty shot there of the NX refit, you got anything else coming down the pipeline?
I might try and work on my demo record tutorial that I said I was going to do, but didn't put a specific timeline on. I just said next year I will do it, so I just got a new mic, so I'm still trying to tweak some of the settings before I push that or start doing that.
Sounding pretty good now.
By the way, anybody who has voice and ears, let Zeph know how he sounds down in the comments somewhere or in the chat. Just let him know how he sounds, because we're all trying to tell him it sounds really good, and he's got the right direction here. But we want to know what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, because there has been a lot of comments. That's the word. Before in past show episodes that my volume has been too low or something like that, and I chalk that up to a shitty mic, so I got myself a Blue Yeti with a POTS filter and a stand. I feel all professional and shit.
I don't think it was a problem with your old mic. I just think it was the distance from your face that mic was at the time, because it wasn't picking you up from far away.
No, before the mic was right in front of my face because it was built into the headset.
And he still sounded that low?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think the only other thing that I'm going to go do is go to Home Depot or Home Hardware and get some sound absorption thing. Because I know there's still, like, in some audio recording that I've done in Audacity, I can still pick up a little bit of echo. And that's just because, well, there's a wall right here in front of me behind my monitor. So
dampening.
yeah. So I think a couple of those and I'll be good.
Michael Perrone says you sound like a warp core breach.
Yeah, well, your face is a warp core breach. In your face. I'm kidding. I guess the new feature for the videos, though, going forward is the majority of them, with the exception of like how-to videos, but all the cinematic stuff will be in quote-unquote 4K. 60 frames per second. So I did a little system update there at the beginning of the year. Got a new monitor, a 1070 GTX. I love it.
Well, if you can put out 4K, why is this live stream going out in shitty 720, bro? Come on.
Because all the other times...
He wants good bandwidth.
No, all the other times I try streaming at 1080, it just... YouTube just doesn't like it. Whatever.
I see.
All right, wrapping up the show here, I want to do a special shout out to Jay over at STO Builds for coming up with a very nice torpedo damage calculator. He has put stupendous amounts of work into this, and everybody else who has been submitting data and testing it out, thank you very much for helping him out with this. This is a lot of work for people who are just starting to get into torp builds and just want to kind of like browse around and see exactly what's there. This is just a very basic overview of what your damage potential would be if you had these abilities and these powers and these torpedoes being fired in this order against your general type of enemy, whether it be attack cube, a sphere, an unshielded target, or a shielded target with certain resistances. The work that was put into this thing is awesome. You have the instructions on there. We'll include it in the show notes. Love it. Learn from it. Fly more torp boats on there. It's a beautiful thing, and you're going to see something that once you actually get a good feel for, okay, I can actually put out this type of numbers with a torp boat. I should actually start practicing with this and flying with this thing here. You'll find that you become a better pilot when you start timing your abilities properly, and you start judging your distance to the target and the flight speed and managing your cooldowns and knowing exactly when to be able to position yourself and when to start moving to the next target, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, get skills. You don't even need to spam spacebar. Just fire manually.
Hey, Odin.
Yo.
We forgot one console on the Annex ship. I just wanted to go through.
No. We intentionally left that off.
Oh, did we? Why did we leave it off?
Yes, we left that off because.
Oh yeah, totally.
We intentionally left that off. There's a method to the madness here on this one. I just want to actually show people the Torpedo Palooza that they got rid of on Tribble for secondary torpedo launchers, but decided to include this in a console.
Wait, what?
You'll see, buddy. You'll see.
Oh, God.
There'll be a video coming out for this nonsense. We intentionally left this thing off because I didn't want to ruin that type of chaotic surprise.
But
is this going to be another destabilizing torp debacle?
Somebody in the audience requested it, though.
Yeah, they want to see it.
Are you going to turn down a request from an audience member to briefly
I would
go over
never
the console?
do such a thing. I would never do such a thing. All I ask for them to do is to wait till the ship is released on holodeck and then watch the video that is going to come up there shortly afterwards. You're going to get a nice rundown on everything there.
You fucking clickbait,
but we have the ship right now.
I'm a clickbait mofo, yeah!
But the ship is here now. We have access to it. We can show it.
But my immersion.
But your audience wants to see it.
Well, you know what, ZEFilms, since you already have the ship there, could you just show them the console?
Plus-
Go ahead. Just show them the console.
Plus 25% projectile damage, plus 1% critical chance. Launches warhead, periodic, kinetic AoE damage, creates a level 60 point defense bombardment warhead that fires towards target current location 3 times 1,236.4 kinetic damage every second to random enemies 5 kilometer radius. When target reached, all foes within 2 kilometers, 10,320 kinetic damage, 2-minute recharge. There. Whew.
No, he wants to see you fire it.
Oh, fuck.
No. Don't
Wait.
ruin the
My
surprise.
question is the console true uni?
It's a true uni.
What?
It's a true uni, baby!
Oh,
Shit, seriously?
I guess
Hold
what
on.
I'm spending my low beyond tomorrow.
Hold on. All right, so let's pull out the ship that we know Odin uses a lot. Do I even have? I don't even have a fucking on. God. Let's pull out the Calvin.
You don't have the Manicore on this, baby?
It's on the other character.
Oh, okay. I mean, TTC designed a nice looking ship right there. And I have my suspicions that Cryptic Rock had a hand in doing the bridge layout on that damn ship. But oh my god, it's so
Here we
good.
go. Here we go. I'm gonna try and put it on the Kelvin. Oh yeah, it goes onto any ship.
Oh, that might be dangerous on a side torp build.
I'm not gonna fire it.
Not might.
I'm not gonna fire it. Odin's gonna fire it in this next video, or get the ship from the low-buy store and try it out yourself.
Yes.
This is not a sponsored message by Cryptic at all. This is just based solely on the opinions of ourselves.
This is one of those things where I was banking up Lobby in the event that something good would come out, and I've literally been doing it from since the beginning of last year. So yes, here's 1 year's worth of investment ready to be spent on that ship for that console. And KDF, if you are playing a ROM or KDF tune, you'll be able to use Lobby to be able to buy that console, order the trait from the NX to be able to use on those ships. So you're not going to be left high and dry. You won't have the NX, but you will still have that console. And can you imagine that on a freaking core with all photons streaming bloody blue murder death, or bloody red murder death in this case?
I need to get this NX.
I might have to put the Lucari ship together with that console.
There's some
Just for the
crazy
science ship
shenanigans.
video I'm going to do with it.
There's some crazy shenanigans I want to pull with this thing here. And yeah. Now, mind you, I don't know why they still wanted to make it a slow roller, but if the damage potential is what I think it is, this is one case where I would actually say it is justified. But if it isn't, expect the Sisto to come out and say something.
Yeah,
about
if this is going to be another bioneural warhead fiasco, then, you know.
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna test it.
Yeah, you're gonna test.
He's gonna do it.
Stay tuned for this. Oh, he's gonna do it, isn't he?
He's giving the audience what they want. He's giving them what they want, folks. So stay tuned. Here it comes.
We're gonna stay tuned with this one. Jay, I'm going to get you the hard numbers on this bad boy, boosted, unboosted, what does and doesn't affect it. So you'll be able to update your spreadsheet with that.
All right, we need to find a victim.
All right, let me go to full screen theater mode.
Now, what you need to do is pick a target at max range that's behind other mobs, and then fire that bad boy.
Fired. Oh, there it goes. And it got destroyed.
You see, this is the stuff that is easily destroyed, but it should have at least detonated.
It did fire off a few torps before it got destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, I came into this thing with no bridge officers.
Oh, you're gonna die.
And stock gear. Oh, shit. Well,
Prepare to
at least
die,
you're seeing
NX.
the ship in action now, because I didn't add any action shots in the NX video, mainly because the music didn't really call for it. I used the outro music from Enterprise. But here, you're seeing the ship in action, live.
2-minute cooldown on that console, right?
Yes, sir.
That's not too bad. Be better if it had a little bit more hull, though.
Be better if it flew faster at this point, or at least wasn't destructible if it was going to fly that slow.
I hope the audience is happy.
Oh, the audience is very happy with that.
What you can expect from Odin, and what I will not do, because I can't do it, is a more detailed review on this console and what it does at different ranges, hull stuff, and what affects it and all that stuff. So stay tuned to Odin's channel for those details. Coming soon, TM.
Spam spacebar, get good.
That's what I'm doing.
He's trying, okay? Just leave him alone. His playstyle, you're ruining his immersion.
Like, oh my god, Becky, look at those phasers. They are so blue.
I guess these would be the phasers that the Andorians would have given, huh?
Yeah. The twin blue phaser.
Yeah, they're called twin phaser beam arrays.
See, I wish they would put out a reputation that would allow us to be able to modify that, or at least, mask the look of our weapons.
Cooldown's done.
Ooh, okay. What do you want you to target a range? Yeah, target a range one and give it a shot. Those little ships shouldn't be able to shoot that sucker down quick.
It got blown up quick.
I
I think a warp core breach took it out.
Yeah, that's the problem with these slow rollers. They're so easily destroyed.
Pretty
Yes.
detonation, though.
Right?
I was watching it. It looked like it fired off quite a few torpedoes. I guess we'll have to get our hands on it and play with it and see what happens.
Yeah. Take advantage of the... because the keys are on sale until Friday. So I would... if you're looking
I got
for...
about 300 of those already.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, if you haven't done this already, go in game right now, go into the promo section, and claim your dry dock slots.
And your ship slots. And it's per character, not per account.
Character. So
It's per character.
Yeah, per character.
Yeah.
That was cleared up by the community manager this morning. So you get 2 ship slots and 5 dry dock slots per character. So hop
Very
on that
welcome
and get it.
indeed.
Very
I'm
nice.
going to have to log in and see because I only saw the dry dock slots there in the promo. So you probably have to go into services in order to look at the
No,
ship
it was
slots.
all
both
in the promo. Yeah, you just had they're not sitting beside each other. One was up high, and I think one was like toward the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Quit being lazy. Read the screen, Odin.
I did read the screen, son.
Obviously not.
Well, I will go and get good and read it again.
Because the empirical evidence states otherwise.
I will go and get good and read it again.
Big boy words.
I like big words. They confuse people.
Talon, it looks like the Bioneural Warhead only... The Bioneural Warhead has much more survivability, and it shoots AP shots, which, by the way, is boosted by any AP sources and AP consoles. So, yeah. But I see a way of boosting the photon torpedoes here with the protonic arsenal and the counter command multi-conduit energy relay.
Wait,
or
isn't
torpedo
there
consoles.
a trait that allows you to increase the flight speed and the hull of these destructible torpedoes?
The flight speed, yes, but it's really negligible when it comes down to it. And the hull is in the hit points is in temporal tree, and that's the only thing there that really affects torpedoes.
That might
to
do
exclusively.
something for it.
It won't. It's not. I mean, I've seen tricobalts get shot down at the same rate. It doesn't.
Turn rate 29.2 degrees per second. This is a really nice ship.
With or without evasive?
Without evasive.
Nice.
It's a 5-3 or a 5-2, so that's actually a pretty good setup for that turn rate.
I think I could see myself having fun with this ship. And boom goes the dynamite. I think we can call it there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The
Well,
NX
thank you
is
very much for the
done.
demo. Closing words, gentlemen, before we depart and get in the game and get good.
Science.
Phasers.
It works.
Ship porn.
I should have a video coming out. I need to finish the demo recording stuff for the Archon class, the Intel Assault Cruiser. I should have that up here in the next probably week or so. I just wanted to. I got all those runs I was talking about. I've got the recordings of those, and I just got to do the commentary and stuff, and I should have that video up. So it'll be my first video in about a year. So
Looking forward to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in into the show. We will come with you with analysis of how Season 12 is received, as well as what to and not to do in game. We're definitely going to see more ship effects and ship porn coming down the pipeline from ZEFilms. Scotty just stated he's going to put out a nice little ship video. SOB is definitely going to be doing something extra with his casual corner. Slot mines, they are good.
19k hull on that torpedo, by the way.
19k hull?
Yeah.
Really?
That's not bad.
No, that's horrible.
No, that's
like-
not bad for a torpedo.
It's 2 shots and it's dead.
That's better than some of the ship pets.
The ship pets have shields and can mitigate most of the energy damage.
Forget
That is
ship
just 2
pets.
shots.
That's better than some ships.
Shouldn't be shot down that easily. It's like it has negative resistance or something.
Oh, I'm sure you'll put it through its paces and figure out what to do and all that.
Aye. I'll have Jay do the number crunching.
Andromeda.
Anyway. Chakotay. We'll see you out there.
Good night.
All right, folks.
Peace.
Oh, that's right. I'm streaming. I gotta end this.
Yes.
Outtakes.
Good night.